So in terms of transition to university, I think that starts really early with aspiration raising. So 12-year-olds, just lower secondary children with autism should know that if they access university, if they're having support at school, that they are likely to be able to continue to have support when they're at university. And effectively they need to grow up with the idea that university isn't a terrifying place with absolutely no support.
First of all, really, we're working to enable them to get to university and realise that that's a completely good option for them, against some of the things that they might have been told throughout school. Students with autism it's definitely reported in a lot of research that parents and teachers have discouraged students with autism from university.
Because what we found from our research is that parents who went to university years and years ago think my son or daughter is not going to be able to cope because there's no support at university, and parents who didn't go to university think university sounds like a scary place, I don't think they'll be able to cope. So the first thing is knowing what support is available as a secondary school pupil.
But the other thing to keep in mind is that university is often a 3-year journey, and for some people it's even longer than that, and that we need to sort of adapt what support is given to where they are on that journey. So if you have a 17-year-old who's thinking about applying to university, and the parents know that their child has Asperger's syndrome, they can be contacting the Disability Resource Centre even before there's been a UCAS application to find out what does that university provide for a student with Asperger's syndrome. And these days we and other universities welcome parents actually coming along, bringing their son or daughter so they can look around and have that conversation. So that's even before the application stage.
And always thinking that people with autism are challenged by the sensory environment, and it can be very, very anxiety provoking to be too hot in a situation that's too loud, too bustly, too busy, living in a hall of residence where there's cooking taking place and there are horrible food smells. All that sort of thing is really a very important part of a student's transition into university and transition into the workplace and everything else. So a few universities do familiarisation weeks prior to students starting university, and they're really good because they give the opportunity to experience the campus when it's less busy, work out which halls of residence are more comfortable. The university is duty bound by legislation to put in a whole range of support services, in addition to a standard level of service which everybody can access. There's the Disabled Students Allowance, and there is a good level of support available via the Disabled Students Allowance. The problem with it is it's a real process to have the initial assessment, the Disabled Students Allowance needs assessment, which describes what you can have, what sort of services you need and so on. It's a set of hurdles. It's about 8 different stages in a process, and it's really hard to navigate.
What we would like to say as a message is university can and is a positive experience for students with Asperger's syndrome, from early awareness of what's about to happen and choices, pre-entry, through to the changes and how you'd like to define your university experience and what you'd like your university life to look like, support with making that happen, and then thinking early as well about how I can use my skills in an employment setting. So it can and is a positive experience for students with Asperger's syndrome.